Alright, YouTube video. Yeah, it's probably not going to be good enough, but it's okay. Because I did want to link to a couple of videos, just because, they're good videos. And, if I link from the other channel, it's, the blip thing. It's not really much of an accomplishment. Because no one, the views on those videos are much poorer. Anyway, Boundless Eyes made a video about this discrimination thing and how we're, mind controlled and all that stuff, but I think she takes it a little too far. But anyway, I'll talk about that. And this other guy, Bread Zappa, I don't know, it's Bread something or other, Bread guy. Yeah, he just reminds me like a British Frank Zappa or something. So he's just interesting as a person, and he says interesting things, and he's kind of a little dark, but yeah, that's I go there. So anyway, post a link to those videos, and alright, I'm going to continue my conversation with the conference report, at least try to, and bend it towards these other videos somehow, because it's sort of gotten off track. Alright, so this will be number 4, I guess. Yeah, this problem of just the nature of the beast is what it comes down to, and how much of the nature of the beast do we have to do something to make life less of a problem. Because look, realistically, this competition thing sucks. I mean, we do end up, creating more losers than winners. I mean, I would argue we should virtual reality the game, and then only the winners will be real, and that'll kick ass. But yeah, there's a problem with this human diversity thing. This just systemic. That's the correct word. Yeah, because then you can't have the competition thing. I mean, unless you fart all the people out exactly alike, it's going to be really, really hard for there not to be some sort of competition. And people were going to do it. I mean, even if you get some sort of utopian androgynous state, then people will find some other way. I'm telling you, I promise you, they will find another way to differentiate between the winners and the losers. There will be some other thing prized. I mean, if we don't judge women by their looks, we'll judge them by their dowry, or some other, how big their feet are. There'll be something, because that's just the nature of human beings. The game is very competitive, and that is very hard to extract from the DNA. I mean, because that's how the DNA has functioned for 2 billion years. It's through that process that we were able to evolve into something. And so it kind of, it likes competition. And it's liked it for a long time. So it's going to be pretty hard to extract that from our nature. And so that sort of goes to the passion thing, because that's something that's, it's sort of, all passions sort of have tied to them a bit of this competition thing, this searching for perfection or the best, or what was that beep? No, it wasn't this camera. I don't know, strange. Anyway, no herons. I have to go fix, I gotta do plumbing work. God, I thought I was going to finally be free to this walk, and at least daily, and I'm still doing it another day. Anyway, yeah, so this all sort of goes to my argument that the game just, there's just so many things broken about the basic structure of the game that unless we, do a complete rebuild, start from scratch and rebuild the monster and his running environment, you really can't make anything out of this. It's destructive, wasteful, full of friction and conflict at its very roots. And yeah, I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And the alternatives of creating like I said, I can imagine if you had 7 billion people, you know, just like me, you know, except half of them had tits and a vagina. Yeah, you know, we'd all get along pretty good, I think. We'd all be smart enough to know that, you know, we shouldn't let our anger should only go so far. It can't go any further. We'd set in place rules to keep us from being complete assholes, and yeah, it would work. You know, because yeah, I can, you know, it'd be a bunch of people who could agree, but we don't have that world. We don't have one design. There's a whole bunch of different designs, and they're not compatible. I guess that would be the way to look at it. Is you know, there's just a huge amount of incompatibility built into the structure. And then we get to this whole imposition thing. I mean, it would also be fine if each of us was playing in our own room with our own little universe, and where we took accountability and responsibility for everything we did. You know, if we created an elephant man, we felt it, we experienced it, we endured it. So there was no way to put our burdens onto somebody else, or to put the consequences of our risk onto somebody else. But that's not the world we live in. We live in a world where a guy can get drunk, get in his car, and wipe out a family, and leave an individual completely destitute. Just take everything they have, everything that means something to them, and wipe it away, and take it. And there's just no way to get it back. There's no way to recover it. There's no way to pay it back. There's nothing. It's just done. And that's the world we live in. People keep imposing all over the place. Because my game is in your game is in my game, where our games are flying into each other. And it's like a bunch of painters painting on one wall, and none of us have enough space to do what we want to do. We just keep crossing each other's space. We keep imposing. We keep trespassing. And that's again another one of these things where it's just the nature of the structure, where there is no forced accountability. There's no yeah, my fault. Batteries. I knew they were getting low. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, it kind of broke the continuity. So anyway, yeah, where the hell was I? What the hell's up? Where? Earth? Oh yeah. Well, we're fucking each other over too much. We're influencing each other too much. And again, the key word is impose. As far as I can calculate, I mean, if you have some other analysis, let me know. But yeah, my life was somebody else's imposition on me. I didn't. It really doesn't have. It isn't something I would do to myself. It's not something I impose on myself. It certainly, in my opinion, hasn't been worth the trouble. I paid more than I gained. And it was completely at somebody else's judgment that I did that. And it's not like they were malicious, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, the bottom line is only my consciousness experienced it. Me, this individual. And so from that perspective, it's whatever. The cost is obvious. I would sort of argue that if you really look at it from the broadest perspective, we all pay. We all pay for each other's stupidity, and we all should be credited with the brilliance and the imbecility, because it's all consciousness. And so whatever consciousness is enduring is sort of the game. And it doesn't really, you know, putting names on consciousnesses and individuality, yeah, it has a practical meaning in this world of interchange. But from a broad perspective, that they're all glass marbles, or however you want to look at it. It's all a form of something. It's all just a manifestation of a something. And it's the something that has the value, or that has the vulnerability, as I would put it. that has the it's a good word for this thing. Yeah, it really is hard to say, because it does have that, you know, you tend to want to be, you tend to want to use verbiage that's fair to life, you know, that does appreciate the fact that it does have this powerful sense to it, this touch, this feel, this just the bigness of that capacity to be a sensing organism. But the fact is, it's in such a bad, rickety, crappy cage. Maybe that's a good way to analogize it. It's like we do have something precious here, beautiful peacock or something, and it's just locked up in the ugliest, hideous, tackiest, smelliest, stinkiest, rottenest cage you could find, and it just fucks the whole thing. And there's unfortunately probably no cage you can build that will be able to take the advantage of the best of it without opening the door, leaving too big a gap for too much harm to be done. Yeah, it's like the beauty comes with a harsh, pecking beak, or big sharp teeth, or however you want to metaphor. It's like the great white whale or something. I'm not the whale, killer whales. Beautiful animal, but damn vicious as hell. And so there's the paradox. I mean, yeah, there's something beautiful to admire, but there's also something to be wary and afraid and horrified by. And that's the nature of existence. And I would say the sum is not sufficient. The shit on the floor is too thick to justify maintaining the zoo, or whatever the metaphor would be. So anyway, don't know if this advanced things much, but it is what it is. So until the next time, blah 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 blah. Alright, me, a little bonus footage, for no real reason. Okay, probably not enough time for it anyway, so I'll speed this part up. Yeah, be garbage anyway. Alright, anyway. I lately have this superpower where I fail to fix something, but actually fixes, even though I failed. It was just kind of bizarre. See, I couldn't get the valve apart on the faucet, but it stopped leaking. Even though I couldn't get it apart and fix it, it stopped leaking. So who knows? Anyway, probably have to come back for that one. But whatever. Kind of breezy here, like it's going to storm or something. But I should successfully make it to my abode. Oh, I have so much work to do. Back aches. Anyway, yeah, this is not a useful add-on. This is just a pointless thing to do. Yeah, so I really don't have that much to say. I mean, life is just not... I mean, it has its moments, but that's all you can say about it. It has its moments, but some of the moments really fucking suck. Whatever. And the idea of just, like I said, it just shouldn't take that much work for people to say, well, it is true that, you know, having babies is imposing. You really are imposing. It really isn't that much to say that much. You know, to get the idea that, you know, the person you're creating is just, there's a 50-50 chance, I don't know, a 1 in 4 chance that that person isn't going to live some kind of charmed life. And it's just kind of, yeah, I mean, well, whatever. It's just irresponsible and selfish, but I mean, I don't know, can we come up with some other word for it? It's kind of sloppy. If you have some other perception in your head that it's some sort of no harm, no foul kind of activity, that you don't have to justify it or account for it, taking the risk with the, you know, the half that might feel caged and in an insidious trap by your charming gift. Yeah. So anyway, God, I'm tired. Shit. All right. Yeah, windy. Yeah. I'm just I'm a day. Till next time. The end. Shit.